Hey guys, you saw my crazy idea for my mystery modification. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it's made inside SolidWorks. Alright, so you saw the motor that I put on there. It's a 4-horse motor. I think I may have said something about where it came from, but my grandparents had it laying around and something I picked up along the way, and it's just kind of been sitting around for years now, and I thought, hey, this is the perfect time to figure out how to mount it to my kayak and just have a lot of fun along the way. So I did a scan of it. I brought it right into SolidWorks, and there's some spots that I missed, but it got me all of the geometry that I needed for how to mount it, and kind of the range of motion stuff that I'm going to need for kind of this control arm and kind of depth and all of the geometry that I'll need. So a couple of things that I did do here is eventually I went in and I basically made some surfaces out of these using some of the mesh tools that we have. We have our mesh modeling tab here, and we can use surface from mesh even on a scan like this. And we could specify planar face. Use the little brush here. Just paint a little bit and hit OK. It'll make that selection. And then I can hit OK. And what that did was make a surface body here for me. And it's a planar surface body, so I can use that for mates and stuff in the assembly when I'm going to put this in place. So instead of having to model up this whole motor, I scan it, recognize a couple of faces that I need to be able to use it accurately and be able to create those mates, and then drop it in the assembly. So I'll just go ahead and go over to my assembly here. And I just went ahead and placed it in here. And then I thought, I'm going to need to next kind of come up with a way that I can mount this. So I'll go ahead and show everything here. So I had a couple of scrap pieces of 1x3 laying around, and I had a piece of tube. I really wanted a much larger tube to be able to create this pontoon. That was actually really where I started. And this pontoon, it was made with like a 4.5 inch pipe, and I really wanted something more in like the 6 to 8 inch range, but that's fine. I figured that would probably still work. I just needed to move the motor closer to the kayak, and that's essentially what I did. Then I designed these pontoons, just the end caps, and I used silicone to kind of plug this and make sure that I got a watertight seal. I actually didn't get any water inside of the pontoon at all. I kind of unplugged these when I was done just to take a look to see and kind of give them a good shake, and didn't have anything in there. I printed them with some pretty not super rigid, super high infill. They were pretty strong. I just made them out of ABS, and I did a little bit of ABS smoothing with some acetone, and then I used clear coat to seal it. Yeah, I did about 4 layers of clear coat to really get the pontoon to seal pretty well, that ABS. And like I said, I didn't have any water penetrating that at all. And then over on my kayak here, go ahead and open up this assembly. So I just, again, created some sketches and brought those, basically created the sketch in the context of the assembly, used the same tools that we've been looking at all along to create a lofted surface to match that contour. And this actually ended up aligning really well on my kayak and fitting into that ridge. With these bodies, I used what's called like a pocket hole, which you might be familiar from woodworking here, to give me a little bit stronger part. So with 3D printing, it's important for these holes to kind of be going across the layers as opposed to like along the layers so that they don't split. So I printed it, this was the build plane, so my layers were going this way across this part. So this pocket hole allowed me to cross multiple layers and have like a full layer holding that together across that pocket hole, and I didn't have any splitting in those areas at all. And I just continued with those pocket holes in a couple of different places, just again to try to get the most strength I can out of those features. and just mirrored it over to the other side. And again, just used a 1x3 to basically hook my motor to here. Next, I just created this corner piece, and this was where I was probably the most concerned when I got out on the water about this piece. It was printed in ABS, and I printed it really quickly because maybe giving a little bit too much away here, but I thought I had another day to print it. I did not have that extra day, so I really increased the speed of the print and was finally able to get it to get a working part. Actually, I printed it the first time on the Cindo, but lots of infill and ABS often don't really get along, so I printed this one kind of in this orientation, so there was some support material here. Had just some slight warping, but nothing too bad. But the part actually worked out pretty good. Didn't have any failures while I was out there, which I was very, very happy about, because that would have been a rough day for sure, trying to pull the motor out of the water. So I was able to get the motor going pretty well. I think I struggled a little bit with it initially because there were some things like it hadn't been started in probably a couple of years, and I think it definitely didn't get quite fully up to speed even. At full throttle, it started bogging down again. Probably one of the jets was not quite right, but I was able to start it while I was in the water, which was great. And yeah, as long as you had the throttle all the way on, had gas in it, and used the choke, it would start the first pull every time. So it just took me a little bit of a learning curve there to get this started while I was in the water, but it was fun, and I could cruise along pretty good even at like half to like 3/4 throttle. So thanks so much for watching the entire series, guys. I really enjoyed doing this, and I really want to know what you guys want us to do next. So please leave some comments with some ideas, and hopefully we can have a lot more fun. Hopefully we can add some motors or whatever to whatever you guys come up with. So let us know. Thanks for watching.